There's an extraordinary transformation happening in Australia's centre. Life is returning to Lake Eyre, turning a parched desert back into a waterway. Let's bring in Professor Richard Kingsford, who's the Director of the Centre for Ecosystem Science at the Uni of New South Wales. Richard, great to have you in the studio again.
Good evening.
Now, you're an expert in rivers and all things waterways. This beautiful transformation that's happening out there brings a smile to your face, doesn't it?
Oh, look, it's one of the most wonderful places in the world. This is just incredible. You know, when that water comes down, it sort of percolates through that system, goes through channels and floodplains, and everything starts to sort of move, from hatching invertebrates to plants and pelicans and fish. It all takes off.
Some of this vision's been given to us today by the Australian Wildlife Conservancy, and we appreciate that because it's magic to witness what we're seeing there right now. What are we seeing with this particular phenomenon this time of year that we aren't seeing in other river systems?
Well, you know, we know that the Murray-Darling's in the grip of a great drought. I mean, we have had some water there. What we're seeing in the Lake Eyre Basin is essentially this water naturally coming down, filling all the water holes, going out into the floodplains and making its way eventually to Lake Eyre. And like all rivers, it's not just about the environment. There are people that depend on that water coming down. There are beef producers, there are traditional owners. That river brings food. It brings a whole lot of ecosystem services to that wonderful part of the world. And, you know, that's very challenging when you look at a system that we've really started to take too much water out of, the Murray-Darling, and you change a river forever once you start doing that.
So if we contrast the two here, is this a system we're seeing that is, although a lot of people depend on it, hasn't been altered, hasn't been touched the way that the Murray-Darling has been manipulated? Yes,
absolutely. The Lake Eyre Basin is one of the great free-flowing rivers of the world. It's essentially doing what it's been doing for millennia.
And we're watching this at the moment.
And it's doing these wonderful things that will be there for, you know, for millennia to come, in terms of the economics of it, tourism. People really think about the Lake Eyre rivers. And of course, you know, as that water comes down, it will eventually start to dry out. But, you know, you get these wildflowers happening in the system, and about springtime this year, there'll still be lots happening in this river.
And am I right in saying that a lot of the source of the water is from those Queensland floods?
Yes, absolutely. And, you know, the silver lining on those cyclones is essentially that when those cyclones come inland, they put a lot of water into those river systems.
To put it briefly, though, when you watch this, it fills you full of joy, doesn't it, as an expert in this field?
Look, I absolutely love it. I've been flying over there, I've been walking along those riverbeds, and the thing is, I'd like to get out there now.
We'll let you go. Go on. No, it'd be fantastic, wouldn't it? All right. Professor Richard Kingsford, always good to talk to you, but thank you.
Thanks very much, Michael.